Hey, I'm RT and welcome back to RTsWorld. So today I present you the second part of the small video series called Casino Basics. And in the first series I already covered all the basics where you can start from scratch, from droppers, from hoppers, how they basically have different signal outputs and all the probability calculation for your dropper systems. And here all those machines, I covered them in the first part of the video, so if you don't saw the first part of the video, make sure to watch this video first and then come back to the second part. Because now we will build up the knowledge we basically acquired in the first part and go to more complex buildings. And what I forgot to mention is that we also will cover how to calculate the odds correctly for a casino, for example, or the prices, better said. If you have, for example, here a beacon as a main price, you really want to make a slight profit if you run the casino. So you don't want the profit to be too big so that players still come to your casino and try to play it. But you also want to make sure that in average you will end up with profit for every main price spit out. So for example, if the main price is worth 50 diamonds and you want to have 1 diamond for each try, you would have at least 50 times played until you get the beacon dropped, but you also lose items along the way, so you want to have at least like 60, 70 or 80 diamonds inserted into casino before you spit out the main price, so you still would end up with a profit. And I show you how to calculate it in this series too. So stick to the end, we will cover that at the end of the video. So I already showed you that, for example, those dropper-hopper and these dropper-dropper variants of the calculation systems for the odds are the heart or the brain of each casino. So that's where we get this duality, this basically binary code of either signal strength 1 or greater than 1. And with all those nice timers and end gates and whatsoever, we can also now build very complex systems based on those timers, for example, I presented to you last video. So this is the first contraption, which is very complex, and I call this the hopper timer with piston feed tape. And I will just present it to you and then explain it to you. We have here a piston feed tape, and after a certain amount of time, now we got a signal strength of 4. And this contraption allows us to have 5 different outputs with only 1 single press of a button. We have either no signal strength, 1 signal strength, 2 signal strengths, 3 or 4. And now we got the fact where we have 4 signal strength. And you could simply vary that, for example, having here a casino with 4 droppers, and depending on which conveyor belt like situation you end up with, we have different outputs. And for example here we have this 50% dropper-dropper mechanism where we have this stone sword and the iron block here. We have this OR gate where we basically have limit us to 1 output each. And then we have those timers here with 8 items and here with 4 items. So those timers then get separated and get basically not separated. They get combined here with an AND gate, and they will start this piston feed tape here. And I can show it to you again. We have here now this feed tape moving, and depending on which block is here, for example, this time it's an empty cauldron. We have a signal strength of 0. We would also have a signal strength of 0 if we have the glass blocks there. We can press it again. Maybe we get a different signal strength this time. Now we got signal strength of 2, since this is the cauldron with the water level of 2. So that's how we randomize basically our outputs then. And that all with 1 press of a button with a single 50% dropper here in the front. And no, it sounds very complex, and there are not many applications where you could build it, but that's also the reason why it's in the second part of this video, and in the part where we basically cover those more complex variants and also how to calculate the odds for this nice contraption in the background for the main prize. And the last thing I wanted to say to this contraption is basically it's all about moving here a conveyor belt, retracting this block first, so the comparator reading the conveyor belt does not basically give random outputs during its run. So if we press it again, now since it's basically moving, there is no block here, and if it stops, the block gets pushed forward and then basically determines what the signal strength of the block is at conveyor belts standing still. So the second contraption I want to show you in this video is the hopper timer with the random timer lengths and pulse trap. And the pulse trap is really, really important for Wheel of Fortune. So if you want to build yourself a Wheel of Fortune, you may also saw a video of me building those kind of machines or casinos. It's a little bit complicated, but it's not that hard if you know how to do it. And if we press this button here, those lamps will simply go like this from left to right, or if you arrange them in a circular way, they will like circle all the time. And then this pulse trap here with those bedrock repeaters will trap the 1 tick pulse anywhere between those repeaters. And how this works is we have here basically our 50% chance dropper system, our OR gate, again our timers with different length, 8 and 12 blocks here respectively. And so it's completely random which of those timers will fire, so you cannot predict which lamp will light up in the end. So that's basically the random part of it. There's no pattern to be established, or no player can trick you as casino owner by having those at least 2 options. You could also have 4 or 8 or whatever. And yeah, this time we got this lamp here. And yeah, the pulse trap simply works by just having all those repeaters being basically blocked in the same tick. So everything is set here from this redstone torch to 1 tick. Here also this one is set to 1 tick. A delay, and then you trap the pulse. And some people may ask, hey, how get I the pulse, or how do I get the pulse even in this system? So we simply just remove this repeater very shortly. Now it's unpowered, so if I build it the first time it would look like this, and if I press the button nothing will happen. So just this redstone torch will basically go out. And how to do it is you remove this redstone torch shortly, put in here a monostable circuit. We have here a piston, a sticky one, 2 repeaters set to 1 tick. We simply flick this lever and we have the pulse running through the system. And if we then place back the torch, yeah, we simply end up with one of those with one of those lamps being light up. Yeah, we can simply retract this, and if we would do it again, we have 2 pulses trapped in those pulse trap, but yeah, you don't want that usually. And that's basically the heart or the brain to build a Wheel of Fortune. And yeah, those 2 complex mechanisms are now fully explained, and we will go to the odd calculation part of this video. So, and welcome to the last explanation of this mini-series of Casino Basics. We now got to the point where we can calculate the prices. So now we know everything about those odds we can calculate, the signal strength differences, all the contraptions we need for casinos. And this, for example, is my Cauldron Casino, and I will give you a link in the info card section on the top right of your screen now, and also in the video description and the commentary section. So that's the Cauldron Casino, and you can build it block by block if you click on one of those links I mentioned previously. And what we have to do here is we simply have to throw in or insert 1 diamond block to play the casino, and then the casino will give us some prices. And in this case it was 5 diamonds, I guess. And then we can do it again, and all over again, and all over again, and depending on how lucky we are, we get more prizes. But sometimes one player will be very lucky and win all the way through the beacon, in this case. So that's why we have to charge a certain amount of money, or diamonds in this case, to make sure that we still make a slight profit on this casino. We also spit out some netherite, that's also worth considering. So we also want to factor in that. And yeah, basically how to build it is basically in the video description or in the info card section, so I won't cover that too much, but it's basically a very large cauldron end gate. And I think, I also built one with that cauldron end gates here in the first series of this video series, so basically watch it if you didn't watch it yet. And that's basically a 10 dropper end gate with cauldrons. We have each dropper set to 50% here in this row, so we have every dropper with a stone sword and an iron block, and that leaves us with a total chance of 0.098% for this casino contraption. So with this chance, basically 0.1% if we round up, we will win this beacon here. And to calculate how much we should charge, basically we have now 100% divided by the total chance. That's our average numbers we have to play the casino until we get the main prize. So we basically divide 100% divided by 0.098%, and we end up with 1020 times to play the casino. So on average, a player which wants to play this casino has to play it 1020 times until he reaches on average this main prize, the beacon. So that leaves us with the calculation part. We have 50% chance on 10 droppers here. So we have 10 droppers, 10 slots. And that makes us, with the 50% chance in these droppers, makes us with 5 droppers firing each time the stone sword into the left dropper line, therefore giving us a prize. So on average, 5 of those 10 droppers will give us the positive output, since it's 50% on each dropper. If we have, for example, a chance of like 70% or 80% on some of those droppers, we have to adjust it, of course, in this calculation. But in for this case, it's really an average of 5. So it's the easiest one. And the 5 first prizes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are 5 diamonds. So we are most likely to lose 5 diamonds per try on average. So if someone plays the casino, he has to insert 1 diamond block, so that's 9 diamonds. But 5 of them will be lost, since he will win that. That leaves us with a 4 diamond profit each round someone plays, which is not too bad, but the better prizes are netherite and the beacon, so you basically win if you're a customer and just throw in there like 10 diamond blocks and then end up with the beacon and several netherite ingots. So we have to factor in those two. And since we have 1020 times on average, which someone has to play this casino here, this exact one, to win the prize, we simply multiplied by our profit, which is 4 diamonds. And so we would end up with 4080 diamonds profit on average per beacon, which is way too high, of course. So this time we would basically rip off some of our customers and they would hate us for this casino odds here. So they're pretty low in this case. So we now won 6 diamonds, but we inserted 9. So yeah, we still made a loss as a customer, but the casino made a profit. But this time, for example, we won a netherite ingot, and that basically changes everything. So those odds are not terribly bad. They're really bad, but not terribly bad. We should increase them and do the calculation part again. But I guess if you are, for example, limit those profits of 4 diamonds to like 3 or so, it would be completely sufficient for you as a casino owner. Then you would still have 3000 diamonds profit per beacon, but that doesn't factor in netherite ingots. But since they're not in the average calculation, since the average would be 5 droppers each try, we cannot include them too much. Since we have 75% or even 80% of all the droppers have to fire, then we only get the 3 netherite ingots. So we're completely fine, and you simply have to be a little bit more cautious if you put in higher prices, of course, but that gives you a basic idea how to calculate everything. The most important rule here is to sum it up, basically divide 100% chance, divide it by your total chance, then you get the average tries, and you simply calculate how probable it is for all the droppers to fire the correct output to win a prize. So in our case it's 5, since we have 50% chance on each dropper. We can calculate the profit, which is 4 diamonds, so we simply multiply our profit with the average number of tries to win the main prize, and then we end up with our profit margins. But yeah, basically profit is not what you end up with in the end. Of course, since you have to factor in, of course, a lot of those netherite ingots will be lost in the process, but you should be very well by doing it so. And with that said, I want to end this video now, and I hope you have now a better understanding of how to make those complicated structures and how to basically calculate everything dependent on main prices. And yeah, that leaves me just with one thing to say. Thank you for watching, and as always, there is a world download link in the video description. If you want to look around or build stuff on your own, just simply download the world. It will be completely free, and it should also work now properly. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.